He's not hitting. No hitting. No. Don't hit each other, Rooboy. Don't hit each other.
Tonight's sponsor task is from Big Brother Gold sponsor Guinness Extra Smooth. For tonight's task, the housemates will be grouped into two teams, Team Bold and Team Smooth, and that was achieved through a lucky dip. For Team Smooth, we have Kola, Thelma Lawson, Culture, Mensan, Jason J, Bright Morgan, Imisi, and Isabella. And for Team Bold, we have Kaaybobo, Faith, Rooboy, Joanna, Koyin, Dede, Mide, and Sultana. And now to the first game of the day. It's called Race You to Eat. For this game, a white marked out area was provided in the arena. And inside this white marked out area is 2 cans of Guinness in the middle. Now, there will be 2 opposing players playing at a go. For this game, all members of the team must play. So in total, we are going to have 8 rounds. Opposing players must wear their Guinness bubble suits, and at the sound of the buzzer, they must proceed to stack up 4 Guinness cans to themselves in order to win. Now, here's the twist. So each player will have 2 Guinness at their spots, and you're not allowed to stack up from this. So in other words, the 2 cans at your spot belongs to you. You're not allowed to touch them, but your opponent can come to your station and take from there. So now every opposing player have to stack up from their opponent's can and then the 2 cans in the middle. The first player to successfully stack up 4 cans in their spot wins the game. And remember, you can only pick 1 can at a go. You must not collect more than 1, and you must not collect the can in your opponent's hand. Now, this is where I think none of the players tonight made good use of this opportunity where they said you can't collect any can in your opponent's hand, because at some point I expected maybe someone should just hold your cans to yourself to make sure your opponent does not score any point. But it's one thing to hear the instruction, it's another thing to listen to the instruction. Now let's go to the game. At the end, the team with the highest number of wins get 5 points. The first set of players, we have Koyin for Team Bold and Jason J for Team Smooth, and the violence started immediately. They started with speed. You know how good these 2 players are when it comes to speed, and speed is what this game requires. And the next thing, before you know it, they started pushing each other. Well, one thing led to the other. Jason actually stacked up 4 cans, but guess what? Koyin went to the other side and sat down. His team was calling on him. The next thing, he started touching his head, saying that Jason J hit him on the head. Koyin kept touching his head, and at some point I became scared, like what could happen? Could that be concussion or what? Well, Rooboy went, helped him to stand up, and he proceeded to go into the main lounge. And Jason J, on the other hand, was back to his team, pouring water on his face, tears coming out from his eyes. I couldn't even understand what actually happened. What did the both of you do to each other? Like, what kind of force did the both of you apply while hitting each other? Next players, we have Culture for Team Smooth and Kaaybobo for Team Bold. Culture won this one on a clean note. So Kaaybobo's mistake was trying to stack up from his own spots, okay? And when his team reminded him that it's against the rule, on trying to go back to return what he just did, Culture was fast enough to stack up and he won this round. Next round, Rooboy and Bright. Let's be honest, if you watch this show, you agree with me that Rooboy came in with anger, pain, and the need to revenge that, his team, not just that, the other team won them to round. They're of the opinion that Jason J was so violent to Koyin, and that win still happened, okay? And now Culture came in, won Kaaybobo. So this time around, Rooboy is saying that he was going in there, he will push, he will do that, and Zita was trying to calm him down, telling him, see, Do not push anybody. Don't, just focus on your game. That all you need for this game is speed. It's not by pushing somebody. Zita was advising him as a friend. And they went into the ring. Now, it's all the gra. You would think that Rooboy will win this one, right? Anyways, the game started, and the next thing, they started pushing each other. So Rooboy was even the first person to push. But if you weren't watching it, if you didn't hear when he came in and even took the other spot that the other team have been standing on, saying that the instruction didn't specify where anyone should stand, and they allowed that to play. Now, tell me why Rooboy decided to start blocking Bright Morgan, and when that push happened, his team now started screaming, "Hey, Bright, you pushed him. There are spaces. We have enough space in the marked out spot. Why didn't you follow the other?" Meanwhile, Rooboy clearly know all he's doing, And now you would think that with that gra, Rooboy will win, right? Bright Morgan still won this round. Up next, we have Faith and Mason. Faith for Team Bold and Mason for Team Smooth. Game never even starts safe. Mason don't push Faith. This one was obvious that Mason did, although he was saying it's a mistake. Yeah, we know it's not a mistake. We all saw that. And Zita said no, that this one is cancelled because you did this on purpose. Up next, we have Sultana for Team Bold, Emisi for Team Smooth. Sultana won this, and Emisi's team, that's Team Smooth, we are like, why wasn't this cancelled? Says Sultana pushed Emisi. Emisi actually said Sultana pushed her twice. Sultana said she didn't push anybody. But Zita was of the opinion that the both of them pushed each other. Well, Zita said it's up to Big Brother to know who to appoint scores to. The Big Brother is watching as well, so they know who they will give this score to. And then up next, we have Joanna and Thelma Lawson. So this pair surprised me the most. So when Thelma stepped out, seeing that the other team brought out Joanna, I was saying, okay, these two are friends. It's going to be a fair game. But tell me why Joanna decided to go scatter Thelma's stack. Well, Thelma reciprocated the energy. She reciprocated the energy, and tell me why Team Bold were pretending as if they did not see who started the scattering. Say, no, now he's being violent. Anyways, Zita went ahead to say that this one is cancelled. In fact, the biggest ninja came in saying this category is cancelled, and Joanna was excited. Joanna, who was forming let me not use the word forming anyway, she was actually telling her team members that she injured herself in the process and they were coming her down. But immediately this game was cancelled, Joanna then told her team, yes, that whenever they go in there, they should play it in that way to make sure nobody gets a point, because if it is a fair game, no team gets a point. If it is cancelled, no team gets a point. To tell you that she actually wanted to be in a violence form. Well, up next, we have Dede and Kola, and this one turned out to even be the best pair of the night. Although at some point in the game, they weren't playing in the spots, okay? But at least it was a fair game in the sense that nobody pushed anybody, although they ended up not having any score, but it was a fair game. Although at some point I was scared, maybe Kola wants to give up and allow Dede win this. Well, up next we have Isabella and Mide, and this pair shocked me the most, being that they already have a score to settle. I was thinking maybe there will be violence or one person will try to sabotage the other, but they both did it slow and steady, and it was a very good game. Now to the second activity of the night. This game is called Guinness Pyramid, and 3 members each from each team will be playing this game. 2 persons will have to move on the board, and 1 person's duty will be to spin. This game was the easiest of all games played tonight, yet the most difficult. Easy in the sense that you have to do is spin and move, right? Difficult because of the twist in it. So listen. So in this game, while your spinner spins, you move according to the number the spin lands on. So if it lands on 2, 4, okay, so you make 4 moves, 3 moves, depending on the numbers. Now, if you land on a number, you're safe. If you land on a Guinness app, you go ahead to pick a card and read out the instruction, and this is what changed the game tonight. So you could read and they'll tell you to take how many steps back, move forward, depending. It can favor you, it can decide not to favor you, and this game did not favor Team Smooth at all. You can imagine when Brian Morgan got to 27 and they had to move back to 16. Like they kept taking them back to the game. For you to understand this, so Bright Morgan and Dede started at the same time. But you can imagine Faith later joined on the same board, and Bright Morgan was even yet to finish. Well, so for the Guinness Pyramid game, after one spin and the move, the team that happens to get to the end of the game will now move to build a pyramid. Now they are to build the tallest Guinness pyramid, and they must start with the base, which will have 8 Guinness cans to represent the letters of the Guinness. First team to navigate the board and build the pyramid becomes the winners of this game, and they get a 20 point. So at the end, Team Bold were first to finish this, and they got 20 points. So they were first to navigate the board and first to build the pyramid. Team Smooth didn't even get to build the pyramid. So when Brian Morgan finished and Mensah came on board, Team Bold, we already done building their pyramid. For the third game of the night is called Guinness Can Hunt. Each team were presented with a locker and a bowl of keys. Now for this game, all they have to do is to find Guinness goblets and Guinness can. 2 Guinness goblets, 2 Guinness can. And in the process of unlocking, if a key doesn't open, you have to return and try again. And you're not to have 2 keys at a go. You must go one at a time. The first team to retrieve 2 Guinness cans and 2 goblets wins. Now, Team Bold had Rooboy and Faith as their rep, while Team Smooth had Thelma and Culture. In fact, Thelma and Culture already planned the tactics they will use, but in the long line, they had to go on a break. Coming back, Rooboy Culture was still trying to put himself together, get something he was holding, and the buzzer came on, and then Brian Morgan jumped from nowhere and started playing with Thelma. Thelma did not find this funny at all, because Brian Morgan wasn't listening when she was saying, okay, this is how we're going to do it, this is where we'll keep the used keys and all of that. Anyways, at the end, Team Bold won this round. Faith and Rooboy, they were very fast, trying all the keys, removing, but trust, when your team is not doing well, you will find a way to blame the other team or try to accuse them of something. So Team Smooth was not saying, no, that Team Bold, we are holding 2 keys at a time, they were doing this one, but people were watching, they didn't do any of that. Congratulations to Team Bold. And now to the final game of the night, a perfect ball. There can never be any Guinness task without a perfect ball. Well, I guess Team Bold were already bold enough to know they are winning tonight's game, because Rooboy did not pay attention to the instruction. So the instruction said you have to tilt your goblet 45 degrees and then slightly pour your drink to come above the Guinness logo. But my dear, Rooboy just poured the whole thing like a juice. Tema was very meticulous to get the perfect pour. But well, I guess by this time the points were already far gone. And with this, the Guinness task comes to an end. Honestly, Big Brother should please do well to be around next time an arena game will come up, because what is this chaos, guys? Anyways, congratulations to Team Bold, congratulations to Rooboy, Faith, Sultana, Kaaybobo, Dede, Joanna, Koyin. This is actually like Joanna's second Guinness, so it's not an easy thing. Congratulations to Team Bold, and better luck to Team Smooth. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I'll see you in my next video. Meanwhile, how did you see that first game? Oh, screaming, oh. And Jason J's eyes. Like Jason said that Koyin punched him in the eyes. That was too violent for such a game. Can you imagine? Well, let's see what happens after the pool party. Please do well to turn on your post notification bell so that when I drop a post, you'll get to see it. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye.
Move backwards instead of forwards, 25 back. Plus 5 is 3, 4, 27. No, it's supposed to be exactly what they need. Keep going, guys. Rooboy, Mide, Congratulations.